You're listening to the Get Rich podcast. This is not a financial advice podcast. This is a podcast with two friends talking about how to get rich. Thank you for listening.
Hey, John, I've got an idea.
All right, Tyler, tell me about it.
It's going to be Halloween. I'm thinking like haunted house tours.
Boo.
You said that last time.
Did I? I just want to get rich. Get rich.
Get rich, get rich,
So I'm gonna start a podcast.
get rich, get rich,
How come no one's ever done this?
get rich, get rich.
Now it's time to...
Now it's time to get rich. It's
Yeah. Well, I said, "Ooh, that sounds spooky," and you're like, "Boo, mother." So,
I just asked you if I said that last time.
No, never mind. It's cool.
Hold on.
John, I've got an idea.
Okay. Let's hear it, Tyler.
It's almost Halloween. I'm thinking haunted house tours.
Okay. Insert joke here.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, I'll think of one. Add it in later.
Um,
Okay, so but what do you mean? Like, how are you gonna get the haunted houses? How are you gonna find them? How are you going to then be able to do tours in them? Like,
Well-
this idea needs a little bit of explaining, please.
yeah, I can do that. So first, I guess we need to start with maybe a dumb question. John, do you believe in ghosts?
No, I do not.
All right, then it's going to be a lot easier for you.
Yes.
Because for people that believe in ghosts, then they actually have to find what they think is a haunted house. For people who don't believe in ghosts, it's way easier. Any house can be haunted,
Right?
right? Because you don't care. It's not a real haunted house.
Yeah.
So that's step one. All right, we've laid the foundation.
Just find any house.
Just find any house.
And the people who believe in ghosts will be like, ooh.
You just have to make it spooky.
Yeah.
Okay? That's all. That's it. That's all you got to do. Can you do that?
I mean, any like abandoned house at nighttime fits that criteria probably.
Exactly. And the thing is like we already know, I say we, you already know houses that we could use for this.
So, what do you mean?
Like with your job, like your housing inspection, like business, you could.
Okay, so yeah, for those of you who don't know, I do inspections of houses. Some of them are vacant or abandoned. I'm legally not allowed to go over there unless I'm doing an inspection.
Well, yeah, but you know, so you don't have to be involved necessarily,
Okay.
right? These are ne'er-do-wells. You know, look, John, you've got houses that I think could pass as haunted.
Yeah, I definitely have some vacant, abandoned properties that I inspect regularly that have a
weirdness.
A weirdness. Sometimes it's just stuff that's left in the house, the way the house is.
So okay.
Sometimes some neighbors have told me some stories.
Yeah, so let's start with the ones that I know about that I've seen myself.
Yeah, because Tyler subcontracted for me for a little while, a few years back. So
there's the big one. We won't say what road it's on, but it's a big one. It's a really nice. It was a nice house.
yeah,
And it's got like the basement, and it's on the water, and it's got that staircase that goes up, and it looks cool. And the kitchen that's like been broken into 100 times, glass
Okay.
all over the floor.
yeah, that house was pretty locally known. My wife actually showed me on Instagram, like a photographer friend of hers or in her circle of friends would break into the house regularly and photograph women in their lingerie in it.
Why? Wait, why?
If it's the house,
Yeah,
we'll beep this on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it had an interesting, like it looked like an abandoned mansion because it was.
It was, yeah, but
There
why,
was like mold and stuff.
but why lingerie? Like
I don't know.
like the juxtaposition of like
I guess.
what
Oh,
quote
on
unquote
this
beautiful things and ugly
yeah,
things.
The contrast, the uniqueness of being in an abandoned, mansion.
It was a neat house.
It was a cool house. It had a lot of vandalism that happened to it.
It could have been haunted.
I mean, definitely. I mean, no, because I don't believe in that. But I could see how people who do believe in ghosts would have been like, "Ooh, there's a weird energy here."
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah,
whatever.
yeah. And like all the marble and everything, and that big open, like they had that not a living room, but you know, it was clearly an entertainment room. You could definitely paint a picture of like parties happening, and then bodies being chopped up in the basement on those tables. Like there was this like long table countertop thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I got more of like a poltergeist energy from it because I don't know, when you're doing my job, you run into different. I have like mostly like two different kinds of vandalism that I classify. There's people who break into houses to steal the copper or, you know, that kind of, or to just stay in a house overnight. And then there's what I call kid vandalism, where they just run around breaking stuff and pooping in the middle of the room, which this house had that. I believe I remember a big poop in the middle of a bedroom and just pretty much.
I don't remember that. Oh,
Well,
it must have happened after me.
Once poop sits long enough, it's
not poop
turns
anymore.
into something else.
It's like
It just pretty much turns into like a fossil or
turns
dirt.
into haunted poop.
Yeah,
Haunted dirt. Haunted
But
soil.
this house had a lot of what I would call kid vandalism, where they just broke everything that was glass.
Like punched holes in the wall too, I think.
Yeah, that's a sign of kid vandalism. Spray painting random things, But I hate to burst your bubble. I haven't inspected that house in many years now, and I believe someone bought it and fixed it up.
So not available, but still maybe haunted. Okay.
Who knows, man?
How about this one was good. I like this one because this one like is maybe not parties, but more like a cultish setting. There was the one that had it was almost a living room, almost an atrium. It was sort of in the middle of the house.
I know the one you're talking
It
about.
was indoors in the middle of the house and it had those columns around it. It was tile floor and it had the drain in the middle, but it was like in between the entryway and the living room, dining room area.
Imagine walking in through a front door to this big vaulted ceiling with, you know, an atrium style windows.
And you go down a couple of steps.
And just like 2 steps down into it. And then there was a spigot on one of the columns and a drain in the middle of the living room.
I forgot about that.
What were those people doing with a living room with a drain in the middle of it and a spigot on a column?
And it wasn't even the living room because the living room was like the next room, I feel
I would call maybe that main area the living room, and then there was like a den or something behind it,
and had
kind
the
of
kitchen with
next
the
to the
pass-through
kitchen.
window.
Yeah.
So like whatever you sacrificed there in that room, you could then pass through the window into the kitchen for preparation.
Exactly.
I mean, that's smart.
It was
that's
a
good
weird
design.
Yeah. It was a weird house. I definitely could, like, oh, there's rumors of a cult that used to live here or something.
Yes.
But again,
I'm seeing hooded figures,
hooded figures
standing around the columns, all in a big circle.
Somebody tied up in the middle of the living room.
Yes, either on a table or just on the floor even.
Animal or human.
Right over the drain.
Yeah. But again, hate to burst your bubble. This one has been purchased and is now being occupied.
What do you think they do with that room?
I don't know. I would love just to see, did they keep it?
I hope.
Or did they get rid of it? If they kept it, now what are they doing with it? You know, it was a weird house.
I mean, that would be like an interesting maybe indoor. I mean, I'm assuming it was like a garden area, to be honest. Like, but it doesn't make sense because there wasn't enough windows.
I was thinking, like, along what you said, weird cult things involving water or blood. I don't know, but that's no longer a candidate. I'm sorry. It's been purchased.
I really want to know what they're doing with that room now. I've got to find out. I've got to find out the address and just keep an eye on.
I remember the address and where it is.
I'll have to get it from you because I'm going to keep an eye on like Zillow or something for the next time it goes up for sale to see if that room is left the way it is or if they've changed it, because I need to know about the cult room, the sacrifice room. Then, of course, there's the house that I've never actually seen, but you've told me a lot about.
I think I know which one you're talking about. I have to inspect that one here in a week or two, I believe.
John, I feel like you just need to introduce this one. Like, what?
Are you talking about the house that was known for the thing I found in it, but then the neighbor told me the other thing?
It's like a baby's arm holding an apple. The best line. Well, not the best, but a good line from King Arthur, that movie with, what was his name? Clive
Owen, yeah.
It's like a baby's arm holding an apple.
For those of you who haven't seen King Arthur, the movie with Clive Owen and Keira Knightley,
And
let's
a bunch
just
of other
say
people.
when you first walk in, this was a double wide trailer.
I didn't realize it was a trailer.
It was a trailer, yeah. It's a
Okay.
trailer.
A mobile home.
But
Manufactured
it was like,
home.
it's one set up to be there permanently.
Yeah.
you know?
Manufactured home.
Yeah,
what they'll
manufactured
call it.
home. But you go up the 2 steps to get to the front door. You open the front door, and just right there, right in front of you on this little, what's the thing's called? You put your TV on.
Like a mantle
Like a
almost
little,
or something.
It's like it's like low to the ground, but like a shelf cabinet.
That's what we'll call it then.
Yeah, whatever.
A low shelf.
There's a word
A low
for those.
cabinet.
It's what you put
An
your
entertainment
TVs
center.
on. Something. Just sitting right there were 2 of the biggest, I would say, what is the technical term? Marital aids?
That's what you can call it, yeah.
Pleasure toy.
Yeah, yeah.
Y'all know what I'm talking about.
A phallic tool.
Yes. Just 2 of the biggest freaking
Tools.
tools, whatever you want to call them, just right there, right when you walk in the front door. And that was what I remembered that house for.
So before we move on to the next part about this,
Yeah.
because I know there's more to it,
There is.
I also want to touch on the fact that the first time you went in, there was like one there.
Yes,
And
there
then,
was
like-
one. And then I come back a month later and there's another one. It's like-
Evidence. This house is haunted.
No, well, obviously it's not, but I'm like, are they multiplying? What? But no, I think someone had come over to do like a lock change or something, and I don't know what is this dude's fetish or something. But if he like, there's one, there must be another. They must be together.
So like whoever's like winterizing the
Whoever's
house.
winterizing the house
found
went
it
and
behind the toilet.
Because this is like what I would call a trash house, where there's just stuff everywhere. And he must have just dug through until he found the other one and was like, yes, you belong with the other.
Let me go find you need to be with your friends.
So yeah, if I did believe in ghosts, I'd have been like, oh man.
I mean, I know I've been into a house that like you walk into some of the rooms and there's like Playboy magazines like spilling out of a closet and things like that.
Yeah, there's what I would call houses. Maybe we'll beep that. Anyways, yeah, so there was 2 there all of a sudden.
That reminds me of what I really wanted to, when you first started this job, I said that we needed to like start mapping these things because like, is there a pattern to like the homeless people getting into these places and using them as squatter houses or as houses or,
Yeah, like
you
this
know-
one has good clean sheets. You can go stay in the bed. This one has, Playboy pictures pinned all over the wall.
I just want to
So
map
like
this out.
An underground railroad or like a thing.
An underground railroad of pornography.
Yeah. The homeless have like a catalog of where all the different houses are with different aspects to each one.
Yeah, if there's like a little pineapple emblem at the street, then it's a welcoming house. If there's a giant phallic tool, then it's a house.
Something.
So, okay, so we have the ghost bringing in more of these
Marital aids or whatever
items,
you wanna call
yeah.
them.
They're multiplying. There are more of them showing up. You suspect there's something going on.
No,
Could be supernatural.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know.
And
But-
now,
So I continued to inspect this house for like a year or 2.
a quick word from this episode's sponsor.
Howdy, folks. This fall, come on over to Gourds and Ghouls Farm. We're your one-stop shop for everything fall and Halloween related. We got the gourds by day and the ghouls by night. Our daylight services include our one-of-a-kind pumpkin patch, where you pick them and then we customize them to your specifications. We'll carve them for you, we'll paint them for you, heck, for a few more bucks, we'll do both. Our other daylight services include local vendors with the finest fall-inspired food and beverages, face painting for the kiddos, and a pile of corn that will get you a guaranteed 15 minutes of kid-free time in our corn maze that might get you a full 30. And as the sun sets, get ready for our nighttime festivities, including a spooky woods trail with a guaranteed 2 to 5 jump scares, as well as our haunted corn pit, where we make use of the recycled, slightly aged corn from last year for the kiddos to play around in. So if you and your family are looking for some gourds or some ghouls, or both, come on by, day or night, to G&G Farm.
And we're back. So yeah, I inspected this house for another year or two. Nothing changed. It was known as the marital aid house to me.
Every time, if we were talking on the phone, he would be like, ugh, I gotta go back to the giant marital aid house.
Yeah.
You're missing that adjective because you said that they are particularly large.
They're, yes,
Okay.
bigger than a baby's arm holding an apple.
The sort of thing that would be intimidating if it weren't comically
Yeah.
oversized. Okay.
But anyways, maybe we'll cut that. So I keep on inspecting this house for 2 years until one day I pull up and the neighbor's in his yard.
Until one day, he pulls up with a neighbor in the yard.
And he asked about what I was doing. I told him I was inspecting the property.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. What
No,
are
he
you?
was like a big, like, had junk cars in his yard, country guy.
Hey, man. I seen you coming over to this house a few times. What is it y'all doing over here?
I'm just doing a status check for the mortgage holder, you know, seeing if there's any new damages or if the property's been secured or not, da-da-da-da-da.
You know about this place, right?
No, what do you mean?
Got the big old giant you-know-what's in there.
He didn't know about that. I wish that would have been what he told me, and then I could have commiserated with him or like been like, yeah, man, right? Ain't that crazy? They're just sitting right there.
So what did he say?
He said, yeah, man, yeah, do you see all the blood all over the walls and the floor? And I was like, what?
And so this is similar to the poop, I imagine, where it's like after long enough,
Yeah, the
it
house
stops being.
It stops. Yeah, well, I
It's
never know. The house is so trash filled and nasty that I never like. I've been back since then many times, and there's no clear like blood stains on the wall.
Like
There's stains everywhere.
Yeah,
though.
you go in with blinders essentially.
Yeah.
Like I know what
I'm
you
just
mean.
trying to get in there and get out as quick as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, you've got your checklist, and you're like, boom, boom, boom. Let me get out of here.
Yeah. So I'm like, no, what are you talking about? Oh, well, the homeowner who lived here murdered his, I don't even remember now. It was murdered his wife or neighbor or something and then dumped his body over there. There was blood all over the walls and the floors and stuff.
Mic drop. This
Yeah.
house is haunted.
It probably is if you believe in that sort of thing. Now it's just known as the murdered house.
There's no other way to say it. John, that's it. That's your house. That's the go-to. That's the headliner of the tour.
But again, it's like, for real, you instead of having to make up a story of murder or whatever rumors,
This has it.
This has it. You could show them the news article probably. But again, what are we gonna sneak over to this house at nighttime? Like, is that your plan?
I don't want to buy it.
Well, I don't.
I don't want to buy it. I mean, that'd take a long time to recoup the cost.
I mean, if you want to take the risk,
Does anyone else go there?
definitely not at nighttime, unless it's a homeless person trying to find a place to sleep or something.
And see, look, part of the tour, we could all dress up in like yellow, high visibility vests. You know, we're inspectors. We're going. Yes, it's late. It's late, but you know what? We had a lot of other houses. You know, it's not our fault that it gets dark early.
I just don't know. Again, if you want to assume the risk, this is your idea. You can be in charge of the tour.
John, when you're hunting ghosts, when you're hunting the paranormal, there's always risk.
There's always risk, yeah.
Okay. Sometimes it's from the supernatural, and sometimes it's from the mundane and ordinary, and it's the neighbor calling the cops.
Yeah.
Like, that's part
that's
of the thrill.
Definitely what would happen.
Or it could be a ghost that gets you first.
Or maybe, yeah, something will get you, a ghost or the neighbors calling the cops on you for being in this abandoned house at nighttime with 10 or 20 other people.
I would keep it limited.
Well, you want to sell as many tickets as possible,
Well,
right?
yeah. But let's start with maybe 10 max,
I don't
10 a
know.
night.
What about trying to find people, who have a barn they don't use, or who have an abandoned, there's abandoned houses on my road that we probably know the homeowners.
We could probably do that too. That would probably be a lot easier.
Yeah, and then we just make up stories about, there was rumors that back in the 80s, blah, 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 blah.
There's that big house. I almost called it a nice house. It's not really nice, but it's a big house. It was for sale down the road here, recently sold. You told me something about that house the other day. It's always looked old and sort of unused.
Yeah, but it is unused now. Back in high school on our bus ride, some of the older kids thought it was abandoned and talked about just going over there one day, and so they just go over one day after school and walk in the front door and there's people living there. Maybe they were ghosts though.
You told me that before. You're not the ghost part. Adding the ghost part makes it better. That would be so funny, just walking into what you think is an abandoned house and there's people having dinner, and it's
Right.
what are you doing here? Oops, sorry.
What do you say? Just oh, my bad, or wrong house, or no, you just didn't keep the yard up good enough and I thought it was abandoned.
But how good, if you have a house that this has already happened to you once, then how good is it to know that it could happen again and then not respond at all when someone breaks into your house? You just continue about your business as if they're not even there.
Then I would think it was ghosts.
How good would that be?
That'd be crazy.
But you're right. Okay, there's that house, and it looks like people are actively cleaning it up. There's the other house right over there that's got the trees growing through it.
Yeah, that'd be a good candidate.
I think so. But
Or
you can't, the problem is you can't get into some of them like that because they are literally filled with trees.
Well, you just do a little bushwhacking, clear a little trail, but I don't know, man. It's finding the correct properties where you have permission or there's no neighbors around. Something like that would be a better idea than breaking into the houses I inspect at nighttime.
Okay. Look, if we were actually going to buy a place that just came to me, I got two.
Now you're wanting to buy an abandoned house?
I can't. These things are too expensive. One of them's $300,000 and the other one's $600,000.
Do you know how many tours you'd have to do to make your money back for that?
But listen to these, though. Listen to these. Okay, the first one that's 300-something thousand. Okay, first off, it's got about an acre of land. Okay, it's on my street, right? So it's neighbors.
Okay.
It's an old schoolhouse.
Ooh.
I know.
What's the creepiest kind of ghost? Like a little creepy child
Kids.
ghost. Yeah.
Oh, man. And it's an old schoolhouse. It's an old wooden building that they turned into a house.
Ooh, that's an idea. But I just thought, they just built a new hospital in Pensacola, right?
Yes.
And there's that one that they don't know what to do with that's pretty much abandoned now,
We
right?
could jump on that.
Dude, how many people die in a hospital?
All of them. So let me give you my other idea.
Anybody who came in has died.
Let me give you the other one. Okay, because this is another good idea. But
I think I just had the best idea of an abandoned hospital.
This one's going to be good. Okay.
Let's hear it.
600,000. Okay, it's been on the market for maybe a year now.
Your best bet then would be just cutting the realtor in.
Emily and I, we look at this place all the time because it's
Okay.
man, I wish we could afford this. It's got 4 to 5 acres, something like that. Okay. Also an old school building, brick, right? It's a cool building. So not only is it an old school building, but it was also used as an assisted living facility. Double whammy. You get the kids and the old people. You got both ghosts.
Okay, that's true, yeah. That's a potential candidate, I guess.
I would buy that place. Like, legitimately, I would buy it to live in. I'll show you pictures when we're done.
Okay. That sounds like a candidate. I'm still not 100% sure about this idea, but
Ghost tours. I'm telling you, man, it's a good idea.
'tis the season.
Thanks for listening to the Get Rich Podcast. Go to our website, getrichpod.com, or email us at jnt@getrichpod.com to let us know what you thought about an episode or to submit episode ideas. If you really want to support us, subscribe to our Patreon. You can find us at patreon.com/getrichpod. Subscribers will have exclusive access to vote on ideas we try, access to videos of us doing the ideas, as well as weekly bonus content. Thanks for listening.